I'm going to do a shop update here. The reason why I'm standing in front of the drill press is because there's going to be a video coming out on that, and I'm not sure when I'm going to release it. It could be before this, or it could be after the shop update. So I'm starting in front of the drill press because I want to let people know that I'm back working on that thing again. Well, I have been kind of working on it on and off a little bit here and there, but there's been other projects that have come up that seem to have occupied the space for before everything else. But I am back working on it. There is progress on it, and that will be shown in the video. Kind of one of the things that I want to do is I walk past this drill press is, again, I need to try and find out, there are some things on the drill press that I want to fix. These handles, as you can see, some of the handle ends are broken off. And man, I need help in figuring out if anybody knows what the model of this thing is. Now, it doesn't have to be a double-headed drill press. I think that they took the post for each of these drill press and put it on a multi-head basis. So I think these posts or presses were actually manufactured as a single unit also. So if anybody knows anything about these drill presses or parts, or anybody that has one, geez, please let me know, because I'm looking, there's parts that I'm looking for this thing. So that's that. The auction material. I have been doing a little work on cleaning this up and getting some of this stuff put away. I mean, it probably doesn't look it, but I have put those, taken the big wrenches that won't fit in a toolbox drawer, and hung them over there. The rest of them I kind of put into a drawer of this other toolbox with some other miscellaneous wrenches that I have. These are all standard wrenches, so I put the smaller ones that I got in that auction into that box. As long as I'm by the tractor, more work is going to be done on it. Again, here's the gearbox still sitting on the engine lift, and as you can see, it was sitting on that 2x4, which has broken and let the transmission down on the floor. But again, work is going to be done on that. It's probably actually going to be started again next week. I've got this truck in here, my wife's old truck. Was debating on whether to sell it or pull that engine out and just keep that engine or sell the engine, because apparently that GMC or Chevy's 6.0 engine is a well sought after engine by people that build cars. So I'm pulling that engine out. That thing is going to come apart, the engine's going to come off, and then the rest of the truck is going to be scrapped. If you've ever seen part of my videos as I walk around the shop, you know there's some old tires. Now, most of these tires came from my grandson or off of my grandson's vehicles. But some of those tires, like one of them I found laying out in the middle of the street here. Somebody had just thrown it out. Didn't know how to dispose of it, throwing it out. I will just throw all of them tires and rims that I don't want. Some of them rims can be made into things. You know, you can build a post off of it and put like a small vise on top of it as a movable vise stand. But I regress. That stuff is going to be taken out and thrown in the back of this truck when it gets scrapped. So the engine's coming out. I'm gonna do that. That'll be done this week. I discussed this auction stuff. I'm gonna be taking that and putting it away. The tools, as I had commented to somebody has talked about the tools, and I told them that probably gonna get some of the tools and put in my truck. I do have tools in my truck, but I mean, I can take some of these like socket sets, and socket sets are over there. Put some sockets into my tool bag in my truck to add to that stuff, so that I have tools in the truck when I am hauling, or just have tools in the truck. Other stuff will, some of this stuff like that engine is going to go up onto my rack. When I was talking to that guy about taking some of the tools and putting it in the truck, I also told him that I was going to be putting together a toolbox for over by the welding table. So when I'm working on stuff on the welding table that requires tools, sockets, wrenches, etc., I'm going to have them close by instead of having to go halfway across the shop to pick it up. And when I had said that in the video, I had said I was going to be building a toolbox, and I didn't want anybody to think that I was actually going to be building a toolbox. I have this old horrible freight box over here, and it's not bad. It's become a kind of a scrap pile for odds and end wrenches, and what I'm going to do is take that over there. I mean, it's a fairly good box. The only reason I don't like it is because of this lid. When that lid is down, you can't open the drawers. And as anybody knows, if you've got a flat surface in the shop, stuff is going to get set on top of it. And if you set stuff on top of it, then anytime that you want to access the drawers, you've got to clean the top off so that you can raise this thing up to get it to get the drawers open. I probably could somehow disengage that mechanism that does that. You know, those pins, apparently these pins, that's what engages the drawer locks on it. You probably could do that, but anyways, that box is going over by the welding table with the I'm gonna be putting more tools in it so that I have a set of tools over by the welding table. So I've discussed the tractor, I've discussed these tools, I've discussed the drill press. I still haven't gotten the lift for the wiring for the bandsaw or that grinder, that ball door grinder. So I can't run the wiring for that yet because I still haven't gotten the lift. One of the other things that is going to be done too is that lathe is going to be being worked on. I've got to pull the motors off of it and find out what's going on with those motors, that motor in gear system. I'm not really sure this gear, what this is, a gear reduction housing, and I'm not really sure that was part of that original lathe assembly. So I've got to take a look at that and find out what it is. If again, here we go. If anybody knows anything about an American lathe, kind of this model, I can't really find this model. I've done research on it, you know, and I find models before it and after it, or I'm going to assume before it, because I'm thinking this was made with an electric motor on it. You can find models before it that look similar to this, but have a belt system for an old line shaft drive mechanism, like from an old line shaft shop. But anyways, if anybody knows anything about that, let me know. I'll bring you back. I think I'm going to throw a clip in here about some tools that I got from Mac, needle nose pliers, but I'm not sure. But basically, this is probably going to cover the entire shop update. I'm just going to shoot a little thing here about. I bought some screwdrivers off of Mac, and when I bought them, they gave me this plier set, these needle nose plier set, and I gotta tell you, yeah, I've used them a couple of times, and I gotta tell you that I really like these things. You know, like with the conventional needle nose pliers, you've got to kind of go in from straight on. Like if you're trying to pull a pin or something out of a hole, you've got to kind of go straight on. And then if you're trying to twist it to get it to free up, like, and come out, the only twisting powers you have is with the handle. But with these things, first of all, you can get in a lot closer, and because of the way they're designed with the curved handles, you have more twisting power. They just seem to feel a lot better. I like the spring-loaded portion to begin with, but they just seem to feel they're more comfortable to use than like a conventional straight-on needle nose pliers. I really think that was a great design. Yeah, they gave me those three different sizes. Two of them have got like wire cutters on it. The other one is oh, they all got wire cutters on it. I thought one of them didn't have it, but they all have wire cutters on them. But I just wanted to share that with you. My opinion on Mac, let's call them offset needle nose pliers. Probably other people make them, but that's the ones that I've used, and I really think they're great. One last thing in the shop update. In a previous shop update, I had talked about building a rack underneath this table to store drops in. You can see that I have all of these kind of drop pieces from tube steel, angle iron, pipe, stuff like that, and I had talked about building a kind of a rack or a shelf system underneath this table to do that. And I had kind of gotten an estimate on the cost of material, but then I built that welding table rack from this old angle iron that's back there. So what I think I'm gonna do actually is use that to build that rack system, so that I can get drops. As you can see, this is stuff that I got from the estate of an old machinist, and I've got drops all over the place. Drops of this, drops of that. So I need a way to organize it or put it in there. The other thing that I've got to do, thinking about doing, is I have this expanded metal or plate steel that I get sometimes, and it isn't convenient to store it in this. This is convenient to store long pieces of like tube steel or rod or angle iron or channel iron or whatever. But it isn't convenient to store plate or like sheets of expanded metal. So what I'm kind of thinking about doing is maybe building some kind of a rack system that back here behind the table for the bandsaw, pull that torch out of there, of course, and build some kind of a rack system that this stuff can be slid in and out of in here. It would kind of stand upright, and there would be like dividers in there where you could slide plate or slide expanded metal into it. But that'll do it for the shop update. I'll bring you back. You might see some stuff laying around, like that's an old power machine, a Collins power machine. I've got to fix that. As you can see, it's apart. They don't think it's working, so I'm gonna fix that and just throw it on Craigslist along with that heater and some other stuff that I have. That's that floor jack that I got from. That's one of the things when I did that auction update. I forgot to mention this floor jack. I got this floor jack. It's a truck type floor jack. I think it's rated for 12 tons. I've got that. It does work. It doesn't seem to work totally, so it probably is low on fluid, actually, you know, because I can get it to pick up a little bit, but then it only goes so far, so which is kind of an indicator that it's low on fluid, and it stays up once you pick it up to that certain height. But I got to clean it up, check the fluid level, and get that working. Great for being able to get the tractor up on it. You know, when I raised the rear end of the tractor up, I had to do it with a bottle jack, and it wasn't really handy. So anyways, that's enough of the shop update. I'll bring you back.